earlier that there was a need to do more outreach and education with special ed students, with our diverse learners. And I think it was specific to compensatory services, but just wondering if you can share what's been done for outreach and support of our diverse learners this summer in anticipation of fall.
Absolutely. Thanks for the question. We're committed to re-engaging all of our students.
I think Dr. Jones is on the phone to support too. Just
Yep. We're committed to re-engaging all of our students and have done a lot to identify the 100,000 students we need to engage this year. Dr. Jones is here, and so she will brief you.
Great.
Okay, I'll be happy to brief in regards to the re-engagement if I can answer in regards to compensatory services. We have began having training. We started for the law conference, having trainings for all of our administrators and team members around compensatory education, recovery services, and also SSCA. Our goal is to also provide that training to our school team members. It'll be part of our case manager kickoffs, which we explained during the training, as well as having a brief version for our parents as well. So that is our anticipation. We have had discussions with our advocates around compensatory education training, as well as ISB has reviewed the trainings that we have provided to our teams, as well as ISB participated in our law conference for the entire week. In regards to the reopening, we have also worked as we're part of this process in regards to re-engagement and reopening. But in addition, we have also ensured that we want to continue to maintain and be committed to hearing from our parents and our partners. In that response, one of our initial responses was the ESY and transition services. We did provide 62 sites, 43 for ESY and 19 for post-secondary training, transition training. For the first time this year, for the first time ever, we offered this training both virtually and in person. We had nearly 40% of our students committed to transition services attended our transition post-secondary program. Nearly 60% of our students that were eligible for ESY committed to ESY, which was about approximately 2% increase from our previous years. And like to think that that was due to us highlighting and sharing with our parents the options, as well as we had opportunities of extension of the program, really trying to be responsive to our students that have been working remotely and listening to our parents. After going out on school visits and on a listening tour, our school leaders and team members and parents expressed interest in having more information, maybe some condensed version of that in reopening guidance, and areas of how they can support safety, make sure that they're aligned with safety and supporting strategies. So one of the things in response to that, our initial plan, which continues to evolve, and as well as I want to continue to reiterate, we remain open and flexible in regards to feedback from our stakeholders, because we want to ensure that we are meeting the needs of all of our families, that we are being responsive to all of our families. So with that, we are developing a toolbox that our team will be supporting our school leaders, as well as this will be provided to our network level school leaders and school members, which will be a toolbox that will be inclusive of strategies and interventions, community-based resources that are available to our parents. So we're being responsive to the social emotional needs, the needs of our communities, and as well as which will be inclusive of videos, how to set up how to possibly set up classrooms, how to build those relationships, and kind of descriptive ways of having daily routines, just to get students back into normalizing being back into our buildings 5 days a week, resurfacing the face cloth coverings that we provided for our initial reopening. So some of those things that we have done in the past, we want to be a little bit more robust and responsive. And those are the things of feedback that I received in my school visits. I hope that answers. I feel like that was a lot.
It does. Just one quick follow-up. Dr. Torres's app keeps reminding us that we're ticking down the days till school starts. And just, do you have any updates about how the re-engagement work with our diverse learners is going? Like families and students.
One more time.
Updates about how the impact of that work. Like, are we recapturing kids who have been disengaged. I feel like in board meetings and in office hours, we're hearing a lot from families with diverse learners that they're really worried about re-engagement and that their students really, their needs, worried about their needs being met in the recovery and the return to school. And just wondering if you have any examples of how that work is going this summer. We know that kids committed to going to ESY. Are they going? Or do you have any data to show that we're recapturing kids?
Right. That's why I explained that we do have a 2% increase in our ESY. And though since we have those students here, our team is focusing on since we have them here, ensuring that we are gearing our attention towards those parents since since again they are in attendance. So with those, that's 60% increase, which is approximately out of the 43 schools, we have 4,074 students that committed. So with those, that's the families that we're really focusing on to ensure that not only since we have them here, we want to focus on keeping them here, having them return to the fall. So that's where a lot of our attention is on, as well as we're partnered with the district-wide initiative of re-engagement, which is very robust, as Erin explained in regards to the school visits done by, led by Chief Chow. So the home visits and the phone call banks that we're participating with, the FACE departments, our teams are really being robust and trying to ensure that we are meeting the needs of all of our children, inclusive of our diverse learners.
So they've enrolled, they're attending, and we're getting good feedback from both students and parents about the ESY experience.
We are, as well as the transition post-secondary program. As a matter of fact, they asked that, it is our plan to provide it for the upcoming year, the following year, but they asked that we extend it so it goes on beyond the 2 weeks that we initially set.
Thank you.
Any other questions for any of the presenters?